For days, the land remains unusually quiet. No birds calling from the trees. No rustling in the undergrowth. No signs of life where there should be plenty. To experienced farmers and wildlife experts, this silence is not peaceful. It is a warning. Across multiple regions of the world, from the southern United States to rural Japan and deep into Europe, a single animal is rewriting the balance between humans and nature. Wild boars, highly intelligent, extremely cautious, and capable of destroying years of work in a single night. In the southern United States, invasive wild pigs now roam freely across millions of acres. They tear through farmland, uproot crops, damage irrigation systems, and vanish before sunrise. In Japan, forests that once absorbed their numbers can no longer contain them. Boars are pushing into villages, farms, and residential streets, places never meant to share space with a wild animal this powerful. The danger isn't just economic. A full-grown boar can weigh more than 200 kilograms. Cornered, it becomes unpredictable, aggressive, fast. Encounters that begin as property damage can quickly turn into life-threatening situations. In Japan alone, wild boars cause billions of yen in agricultural losses every year. Rice fields are destroyed overnight. Vegetable farms are flattened. Entire harvests vanish before farmers even realize what happened. Aging rural populations and a severe shortage of professional hunters have made traditional control methods nearly impossible. Natural predators like wolves, once a balancing force, are long gone. The result is a perfect storm. Authorities face a difficult question. How do you stop an animal that learns, remembers, and adapts without putting people at risk? The answer is not brute force. Instead, the strategy begins quietly, patiently, almost invisibly. In rural areas, farmers prepare traps not as weapons, but as invitations. Rice bran is scattered across the ground. Cheap, powerful smelling, impossible for a boar to ignore. But the traps are not activated. The doors are left wide open. For days, sometimes weeks, nothing happens. Boars approach cautiously. 1 step forward, 2 steps back. They circle. They test. Some enter briefly, grab food, and retreat. Others remain outside, watching, learning. This is the most dangerous phase. If trust is broken too early, the herd may never return. Slowly, patterns change. The same animals come back night after night. Fear fades. Confidence grows. The trap becomes just another feeding ground. The herd begins stepping deeper inside, unaware that every movement is being observed. Because wild boars are never careless. They send scouts. Some feed, while others stand guard. They listen. They memorize sounds. They remember locations. One mistake, one wrong movement, and the entire plan collapses. But when timing is perfect, an entire group commits. The balance shifts in a single silent moment. And what happens next determines whether crops survive, communities stay safe, or the problem grows even worse. This is not hunting. This is strategy versus instinct. And the next move belongs to humans. Trust has been built. The herd returns again and again, following the same trails, stepping into the same space without fear. To the untrained eye, this looks like success. But experienced operators know this is the most fragile moment of the entire operation. Wild boars are not mindless animals. They memorize patterns. They recognize changes in scent, sound, and structure. A single mistake can teach the survivors how to avoid every trap forever. And once a herd learns, the problem doesn't shrink, it multiplies. This is why modern wild boar control no longer relies on speed, but on precision. Hidden near the trap site, motion-activated cameras quietly collect data night after night. Every entry, every exit, every hesitation. Operators study how many boars arrive, which ones enter first, which remain outside as sentinels. Some herds send juveniles forward while adults wait back, watching from the shadows. This behavior confirms one thing. If only part of the herd is captured, the mission has failed, because escaped boars don't disappear. They adapt. In the past, traditional box traps were triggered too early. A loud metal door slammed shut, capturing 2 or 3 animals while the rest scattered into the forest. Those survivors remembered everything: the noise, the movement, the smell. They avoided similar traps for years, spreading their knowledge as they reproduced. Modern control strategies aim for something different. Whole sounder capture. Large corral traps replace narrow cages. Open designs reduce panic. Rounded fencing removes sharp corners that cause stress. The structure doesn't feel like a trap, it feels like open ground. And that illusion is critical. In some regions, drop traps are used, massive steel frames suspended above feeding areas. The herd feeds normally beneath it, unaware that dozens of tons of steel are waiting above. Only when every individual is confirmed inside does the system activate. One clean movement, no warning, no escape routes. Elsewhere, vertical guillotine-style traps are preferred, especially near farms and residential zones. The doors slide down silently along reinforced rails, sealing the enclosure in a fraction of a second. There is no crashing sound, no panic-inducing slam, just sudden containment. But even the best trap design means nothing without timing. Operators wait hours, sometimes days, watching live feeds remotely. Rain, fog, darkness. They ignore impatience. They ignore pressure from landowners demanding quick results, because activating too early means teaching the enemy. And the enemy is always watching back. In dense forests and suburban edges, firearms are often legally restricted or too dangerous. A missed shot can travel hundreds of meters. A wounded boar can charge. Trapping becomes the only viable option. Safer for humans, safer for non-target wildlife, and more effective long-term. Once captured, the danger does not end. Cornered boars can slam steel panels with terrifying force. Their tusks are sharp. Their strength is underestimated. Every movement around the trap follows strict safety protocols. Trained personnel approach slowly, maintaining distance. No sudden sounds. No unnecessary stress. In some operations, trained dogs are used not to attack, but to observe. They learn the boar's scent, sounds, and behavior through reinforced steel mesh. This prepares them for later tracking operations in areas where traps are ineffective. And beneath it all lies a larger reality. Wild boars are not just destroying crops. They carry diseases capable of devastating livestock populations. A single outbreak can force the destruction of thousands of farm animals to prevent wider spread. Food supply chains are at risk. Entire regions can suffer long-term economic damage. This is why every decision matters. The goal is no longer catch some. The goal is control without escalation. Because every boar that escapes today becomes a smarter threat tomorrow. And just when it seems the system is working, a new challenge emerges. One that pushes conflict beyond farms and forests and straight into human neighborhoods. The final phase of this conflict no longer belongs to farmland alone. It has crossed fences, roads, neighborhoods. Across the world, wild boars are appearing where they were never meant to be: suburban streets, backyards, school grounds, and city parks. Trail cameras reveal a chilling pattern. What begins as a single boar probing the edge quickly becomes a full sounder of 20 or more animals moving confidently through human spaces. They are no longer afraid. Urban waste, unprotected gardens, and quiet night streets offer easy rewards. In minutes, lawns are destroyed, fences torn down, and irrigation systems ripped apart. Worse still, sudden encounters put pedestrians, pets, and drivers at real risk. Vehicle collisions involving wild boars are rising sharply, often with severe consequences. This is where wildlife management becomes a matter of public safety. Local authorities increasingly abandon individual hunting in populated zones. Gunfire is dangerous. Chasing scattered animals only spreads the problem. Instead, carefully planned live-capture operations are deployed. Operations designed not for spectacle, but for control. Remote cameras guide every decision. Traps are only activated when the entire herd is confirmed inside. Data is recorded, populations are mapped, and future movement is predicted. Each capture isn't just removal, it's information. What happens next follows strict protocols. Releasing animals out of motion only guarantees their return. Piglets mature rapidly. Survivors remember trap locations. Reproduction accelerates. Science, not sympathy, guide the outcome. Depending on regional regulations, animals are processed humanely, relocated to controlled zones, or used as resources, ensuring nothing is wasted. This is not cruelty. It is responsibility. Wild boar management is not a war against nature. It is a correction, restoring balance after ecosystems were disrupted by human expansion, predator loss, and environmental change. When intervention is delayed, chaos follows. When it is precise, humane, and data-driven, coexistence becomes possible again. The lesson is clear. Control is not about force. It is about timing, understanding, and restraint. Because when humans ignore the warning signs, nature doesn't retreat. It adapts and moves closer than we ever expected.